Hi Year 9, so this video is just a little bit of feedback with the higher level text that I gave you. So it's just looking at strategies to deal with the text when there's lots of unfamiliar words or it's really big like this and it looks very intimidating. So this is from your week 3 work from your term 5 home learning. Now task 1 was looking at the names of the people in the text, and task 2 was finding some key vocab. Now the reason I put those tasks in is because those are things that you should do in an exam. You should start to look for keywords just to be able to understand the gist of it before you go anywhere near the questions. So I wanted you to understand this just so that you can work out who is who. So the parents, the oldest daughter and the youngest daughter. So parents, we know the word is padres. Okay, so padres would be our keyword there, and we've got Raúl y Blanca. So Raúl is the name of the dad and Blanca is the name of the mum. Then we've got the oldest and youngest daughter. So we're looking for some names. Now we know that the word for daughter is hija, which we've got in here, and mayor means older. Okay, so we've got Mónica as our older daughter, and then it talks about su hermana, her sister, Maite. So Maite is our younger one. So now we know who's who in the text, we can start to look for some key words. Now I've chosen some words that you should be able to identify even if you think that you don't know them. So first of all, we're looking for wedding anniversary. So you can see straight away that we've got a word here that looks like anniversary. We need to know the type of anniversary, and if you remember from relationships in term 1, boda is wedding. So aniversario de boda. Okay, the next thing, they can't agree about. So if it's they can't, we're looking for a negative, so we're looking for no somewhere. And you can see here that we've got a no, and we've got el problema es, the problem is. Now that is a clue to me to say that whatever comes after this is going to be something negative. Obviously not agreeing is negative. No se ponen de acuerdo. Acuerdo is agreement. So you should know ¿Estás de acuerdo? Do you agree? Because we've done that in a role play. So this is about agreement. No se ponen de acuerdo. They can't agree about. Each one likes. So we should know the word each from our frequency expressions because we've been over these several times. We know that one is uno, and we know that likes is gusta. So we're looking for any of those words, and here we've got cada, each, uno, one, le gusta. And we're actually going to have this a in there as well. When we're talking about somebody liking something, we would say a the person they like. So a mi madre le gusta. Here we've got a cada uno le gusta. Okay, we're now looking for junk food. Another word in English for junk would be rubbish or trash. Okay, now we know this word in Spanish definitely, so that's what we're looking for in here, and we know that the word for food is comida. So here we've got comida, basura, rubbish. Okay, our next one is as he calls it. So you know that I am called is me llamo. And so we're looking for something to do with llama or llamo. So we can see that we've got it in here. As is como él la llama. So we know él is he. And the la here is just referring to the it, which is the food. Quite spicy dishes. Okay, so we know the word quite is bastante. Dishes or plates, we can look for a neocognate, which we can see we've got in here, los platos, plates, quite spicy. Picante is our word for spicy. More traditional tastes. So we know that more is más. Traditional, we could look for a cognate, which we can see that we have got in here. More traditional. Now remember, in Spanish, the thing that is more traditional comes first. So we say tastes more traditional, gustos más tradicionales. And our last one, decide to leave. Decide is a near cognate. Deciden, dejar. The to leave, we know that must be to leave because it's got an AR on the end. Okay, so that's our key vocab. That's just what I would expect you to do when you get a text, not looking for specific words as such, but looking through. So for example, there's comida diferente, different food. Looking for prefiere, she prefers. Hamburguesa, hamburger. So just looking for those keywords that you can recognise, and I just chose some that were a little bit more advanced for you there. So we're now going to have a look at the questions, which was task 3, and this is the sort of thing that you would have in a GCSE reading exam. Now I've said here, don't stress, it's a higher text, so you can take as much time as you need, and I don't want you getting hung up on individual words. You look at the gist and some keywords and try and work from there. So special occasion, are they celebrating? Well, we've already located a special occasion right at the start there. It's the wedding anniversary, 25th wedding anniversary of the parents. So wedding anniversary. Now, for higher text, sometimes they require a bit more information. So if you wanted to be certain, you could put in 25th wedding anniversary or add in of the parents, just so that you've got the maximum information there, so you've got maximum chance of getting a point. Okay, sometimes they're a bit fussy in the higher with how much information you need to give. What is the problem? So we're going to find our word problem. The problem is no se ponen de acuerdo. Remember, acuerdo was agreement. We've got a negative here, so they're not in agreement. They can't agree. We need to put what they can't agree about, just to make sure that we get our mark here. They can't agree about donde, where, comer, where to eat. Now in a foundation, if you had something like they can't agree, you might get the point, you may do in a higher, but just to be certain, we have to have all of the information here so we know that we understand the text in full. What type of food does Monica like best? So we're looking for Monica here. Le encanta, she loves, la comida china. It does not take a genius to work out that China would be Chinese food. What sort of thing does Maite choose? So we're going to scroll down a little bit to Maite. She prefers la comida rápida. So we know rápida is fast or quick, comida, food. And then we've got an example here, por ejemplo, una hamburguesa, a hamburger with fries. So what sort of thing does she choose? We don't need to be specific. Fast food. What does Maite's father call that type of food? So su padre, her dad, Raúl, and we know that because we worked out who he was at the start. Odia, he hates. Esta, and we've got little speech marks here to show us this is what he's saying. He refers to it as rubbish food or junk food. What is his favourite style of food? Siempre opta. So opta might have thrown you a little bit. Opta is opts for, opta por, opts for or chooses. La comida india. Again, nice and easy. Indian. Why does he like it? Dice que means he says that. Es muy rica. so it's very rich. And le gustan los platos. He likes this type of dish. This was quite spicy dishes. So it's rich and he likes spicy dishes. What do we know about Blanca's taste in food? So Blanca we know is the mum because we worked that out earlier. Su mujer, his wife Blanca, she has más tradicionales, more traditional tastes. Okay, what 2 reasons does she give for going to this restaurant? So we need to find out which restaurant she wants to go to. Recomienda, so she recommends to have dinner in the typically Spanish restaurant. Que hay al final de la calle, that's a little bit of extra info we don't necessarily need. Donde preparan, where they prepare platos sabrosos. Sabroso is very similar to delicioso, it's tasty, so they prepare tasty dishes. And los camareros, the waiters, son muy atentos, very attentive, so they pay lots of attention to you. And simpáticos, which we know is nice. So, tasty dishes and nice, attentive waiters. That way we have got all of the information in there and we're definitely going to get our point. And finally, which restaurant do they choose eventually? So eventually, al final, finally, las chicas, the girls, decide, and we said this was decide to leave, the choosing to their parents because it's their anniversary, and Raúl accepts the recommendation of his wife. So esposa, you need to remember that from relationships vocab. So they've gone for the Spanish one in the end because that's the one that his wife wanted to go to. Now you may not have got every single one of those. It is quite a tricky text. There are certain elements in there that you may not have got, but you can certainly work out a lot of the key vocab to be able to put in to your answers.